We're gonna work on a background today. This is all surprise supplies for me. I grabbed a handful of brushes, I grabbed a handful of paints, and I wanted to try this new Blick Studio Canvas pad. They're 12 by 16. I got it because I'm always using the thicker canvas. I wanted to see about something like this because it would be easy to travel with, but it also could be framed. And you now could cut this in half here, cut it any size you want to. This is probably 2-inch painter's tape. So we're gonna tape this on, and this is my watercolor board. I usually use it for watercolor paper. So let's choose some colors. Let's see what I grabbed. Okay, so we have teal, chromium oxide green, Prussian blue. So I really had blues on my mind, but I've really been in love with greens lately. So I know I'm gonna go with the blue and the green. I know I'm gonna go with the white. We could go with just 3 colors, but I'm gonna keep these 2 colors to the side, and if I feel like I wanna add something else, we'll go back and add the diazining purple and the teal. We'll just keep them to the side for now. Looks like this is gonna be our darkest Prussian blue hue. Gotta make sure and get it good in these corners. I'm gonna put a little bit up and around. I don't know why I love painting like this so much, but I love painting like this so much. So there you go. Other than that here, I've got a rag, which you know that I'm trying to not be wasteful of paper towels and all that. So I have all these rags that I bought from Holiday Inn, I think. You can buy that stuff whenever they're switching out for a real good price. Or you can just buy the cheap ones at Walmart or dollar store or whatever. That was chromium oxide green. I love this. I love this shade of green. I love it. And that was Blick. And this is golden titanium white. And that's probably way more than I need. But I can't help myself to put more. There we go. This is fun. I mean, this is a lot of freaking fun. And afterward, you can put a portrait on this. This is a lot of paint. That was especially a lot of paint. But this titanium will mix in with the green and all that too. And it's very opaque. It helps to opaque the other colors and things like that. I just like it. And if it's too much, it's paint. It dries and I'll add more. But what I was going to say is you can use this background, once we do it, can be used to put a portrait on, to put a vase of flowers on, to put any type of scenery on. But this can also be used on a dresser or an armoire or any other piece of furniture. This particular technique of how we're gonna blend the colors in, and it's not exactly an ombre. We're going for a lighter center and then going out. But it looks very good, you know, on a drawer front, and you could use, you know, Dixie Belle paint or DIY paint, whatever brand you like, to do this. It's not going to come out exactly the same 2 times in a row, but it's close enough. You don't want things to be perfect. If this was 2 dresser drawers or 2 doors, you could do them both at once, but you don't want them to be identical. If they're identical, then they may as well have been done by a machine. I think I'm going to go a little bit with a palette knife first, and this is only because I like to. Only because it helps me smear this out a little, and I just like it. So you could do this with like a putty knife. You could do this with your paintbrush. You could do this with a credit card, an old gift card, anything you want, just to get the paint started sort of smearing out a little, and spread out the green just a tad. What I'm trying to decide is whether to use this Paint Pixie Joy. I think this is their number 4. This is a natural bristle brush, and I think I will start that. I'm just gonna dampen it a little, about halfway up, and let's just get this blue smeared in. We'll go all the way to our edges best we can here. I'm not done with this, so I'm just going to sit it right here on my rag, and I'm going to get another brush. I'm going to go with this. This is like a Filbert, a long-handled one. Normally, your longer-handled brushes are used when you're standing up to paint, and your shorter-handled brushes are used when you're painting up close. I'm going to use this one because it's the size that I want right now. So every rule can be broken a little bit. I'm gonna dampen it in the water, and now we're hitting the green. Get kind of close to the blue, but not all the way up there, because we're not wanting to start blending quite yet. Wanting to do this first. Made a little drip right there. I noticed it, but I don't care. I'm gonna set this aside, grab that other brush that I had. This one, and this is not for any particular reason. Just use whatever brush that you have. A flat would be really good. This is an angled. No need for it to be angled, but no need to go hunting for another brush right now. We're wanting to paint, not spend time trying to select what tool to use. Okay, that's all with that one. Now I'm gonna go back to a little flat. This is an El Cheapo from one of those packets from Michael, I'm sure. Michael's, I mean. It's kind of stiff. Okay, here we go. Sit that in the water and leave it there a minute. I'm going to look for another brush. Here's another little flat. This is a Paint Pixie Turquoise Iris flat. I'm sure it has a name, but we're going to say flat. Now we're going mostly in the green and going to do the same exact thing, because the other one was getting so much blue on it. We're not exactly going into the white yet. We're still just working the blue and the green. See how dramatic it makes it look as it's going inward. I'm going to sit that to the side. There we go. Here's another little cheap flat. And we're going to wet this white again and go up into the blue. I mean into the green. Going for the very center to be the lightest, so we're going to come out from there. I'm picking up a little bit of the green as I go around. Have a little bitty flat like stencil brush, and I'm not even going to wet it. I'm going in with it dry. I'm going to go back to my very first blue brush. Back with my green brush. This hasn't been left in the water or rinsed or anything like that. Okay, now we have our white. This was still pretty wet. This is where you would put your focal flower or to frame around the face if you decide to do a portrait on here, or where your hardware would go if you were doing it on a dresser drawer. I'm really liking how it's looking right now. I'm really regretting that I didn't take care of putting on too much of the white first, but I'm going to just continue with the damp brush, and this is just playing that we're doing while it's drying a little, getting a little something added in there. And then we thought about the teal, right? Theoretically, it would look better right between the blue and the green. This white's still thick and sticky. This is very damp, but that's okay. Go down into that white just a tad. brush, getting brush pour. This is a little mini angle. My water's even getting dirty over here. I want to sort of erase while I can some of the teal and get my white in here real good. I really want a bigger brush. I'm going to rinse out my paint Pixie. And I really want to add some more grain. This is a bad idea. I'm not even going to put it at one place. And I only say this is a bad idea because right here is still thick and still wet. So I have to tread so lightly. Put that up and get this little bitty brush for a minute. I just wanted this green on there so bad to show so much because it reminds me of my mama, I guess. This is where, if this was a piece of furniture, I would be getting close to stopping right now. Just the same exact, if this was a, you know, an armoire door, I would be doing the same exact stuff that I'm doing right now. But what I would be considering doing after that would be coming back with something like a gilding wax and putting a little copper or gold around these edges. I like this green right here.